Okay, for this lesson, we're going to start off with the definition of a reference angle. This definition says, a reference angle of a designated angle is an acute positive angle formed by the terminal side and the x-axis. So the part you want to focus on is that it says it's an acute and a positive angle, and it's always formed by the x-axis. This example says, graph the angle in standard form and identify the reference angle. You're starting at 0 degrees. When we have a positive angle, you're going to rotate up. When you have a negative angle, you'll rotate down. Just a refresher, rotating up to here is 90 degrees, all the way to here would be 180. Rotating all the way to here is 270, and then, of course, rotating all the way around is 360. For this first one, we have part A is 120 degrees. So if you rotated all the way to here, that would be 180 degrees, but we're only going to rotate 120. So again, the thing you want to keep in mind, we're rotating to 120, which is going to be 60 degrees shy of 180. So this angle right here is going to be 60 degrees, and that's going to be your reference angle. Here we have 210 degrees. So if you start at 0 and you rotate up and you go all the way to here, that's 180. So we're going to go another 30 degrees to get to 210. So all the way to here is 210 degrees. So your reference angle is going to be this angle right here, and this angle is 30 degrees. Is formed by the terminal side of your original angle and the x-axis. For part C, we have 315 degrees. Remember, all the way around is 360. We just need to think about how many degrees is between 315 and 360. So 360 take away 315 gives you 45 degrees. So our reference angle is going to be 45 degrees. For this example, we have negative 150 degrees. If we rotate all the way to here, that's going to be negative 180, but we're only going negative 150. So this would be negative 150 degrees. Again, the reference angle is an acute positive angle that's formed by the terminal side of the original angle and the x-axis. So that means your reference angle is going to be right there. And if this whole thing is negative 150 and then you're going another 30 degrees to 180, that gives you your reference angle. So our reference angle is going to be 30 degrees. It's important to remember that reference angles are always positive answers. So again, it's kind of weird that this is a negative 150, and then if you get all the way to here, that would be negative 180, but your reference angle is this angle, and it's always described as a positive angle. Here we have negative 240. So that's going to be negative 240 degrees, but our reference angle is always formed from wherever the angle ends and the x-axis. So that makes our reference angle right there. And because this was to here, negative 180, that makes this reference angle 60 degrees. And it's going to be positive 60. Okay, this example says, graph the angle in standard form and identify the reference angle. Once you do that, then what we're going to do is we're going to label each side of a corresponding special right triangle. So let's start off with graphing 150 degrees. So there's going to be 150 degrees. Our reference angle is going to be from the terminal side to the x-axis. So there's our reference angle of 30 degrees. At this point, we're going to drop a perpendicular to the x-axis in order to create a right triangle. We're going to label the sides, and the sides of the triangle, our hypotenuse is always positive 1. Next, you're going to find the 30 degrees. You're going to go opposite that, and that's going to be 1/2. Be mindful that if you're going up, your value will be positive, but if you go down, your value will be negative. The long side on our 30, 60, 90 is going to be root 3 over 2. Because we're going left, on the x-axis, this is going to be negative. So here's all of the sides on this special right triangle. So here's 225 degrees. Your reference angle is going to be formed by the terminal side and the x-axis. So if you needed to, you could just do 225 subtract 180. So you get 45 degrees for the reference angle. At this point, we need to create our special right triangle. So we're going to drop a perpendicular to the x-axis. Here's your triangle. It's going to be a 45, 45, 90. For all of these triangles, our hypotenuse is positive 1. And 45, 45, 90s, your sides are going to be root 2 over 2. This side right here, we're going left. So therefore, it's going to be negative root 2 over 2. And this side is going down, so it's going to be negative as well. So here are your sides on your 45, 45, 90 triangle. This says 300 degrees. So we rotate it all the way down here. So that means our reference angle is this right here, which is going to be 60 degrees. Next, we need to draw our right triangle, so you're going to drop a perpendicular to the x-axis. Be careful not to draw the perpendicular to the y, it's always to the x-axis. And so now we can fill in our special right triangle. The hypotenuse is 1. It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, so this would be the 30-degree angle. Go opposite that, and that's going to be 1/2. Because we're going right, the 1/2 is positive. And then your long side is going to be root 3 over 2. Because this side is going down on the y, then we're going to label this as negative. So here's your special right triangle.
that maybe it pretty much always means no. So don't tell me, you might just let it